Hello, everyone. I am Melanie Little. For those of you who are just joining me for the first time, I come to you with 30 years experience as a New York State licensed attorney practicing in state and federal courts. I am also a legal analyst, commentator, mother of 5, and when there are no strikes, a working actor. Today, we have some very interesting new information on the Ruby Franke case coming out of Utah. Some new body cam footage has surfaced. Well, it hasn't really surfaced, but Brian Schnee, our friend and excellent reporter with KUTV, Channel 2 in Salt Lake City, requested and obtained the body cam footage from the American Fork Police Department, who retrieved the 2 middle Franke daughters from PAM BODTCHER's house on the date of Ruby Franke's arrest, which was August 30th of 2023. For those of you who are not familiar with the Ruby Franke case, I'm going to warn you that this is very sensitive subject matter and could be very triggering for some of you. Although what we're going to talk about and show today is not going to be the most graphic parts of this story, I will link a playlist below of the prior videos that I have done on this case, most of which have been live. This is pre-recorded because there are so many stories breaking right now that I wanted to get this one out to you guys right away. So for those of you who are not familiar with the Ruby Franke, Jodi Hildebrandt saga, let me just give you a quick overview. Ruby Franke was a YouTuber. She had a family vlogging channel on YouTube with her 6 children and her husband, Kevin Franke. At one point, she had close to 2.5 million subscribers on YouTube, and she would post videos of her children and their day-to-day lives and some of their most embarrassing moments. For example, she had a video about how her 6-year-old daughter, who was in kindergarten, was responsible for bringing her own lunch and packing her own lunch to school. And when the teacher called to ask Ruby to bring a lunch because her daughter had forgotten her lunch, Ruby gave the teacher a whole speech about how her daughter needed to go hungry and to learn what it's like to starve so that she would learn the lesson and remember to pack her lunch next time. Another video that Ruby posted is something that I'm going to play for you right now because we've never really played this one. This is when Ruby, who gave parenting advice basically on this channel of hers, took away Christmas from 2 of her children. It's an older video, but I thought it would be interesting to take a look at it now. And play this for you.
I'm scared to share this because knowing people these days, I don't know if people are gonna, how they're gonna respond. So Kevin and I, we have 6 children. The 2 youngest are showing long patterns of selfishness. They have been showing through their choices, their unwillingness to repent, their unwillingness to feel sorrow over some pretty egregious choices that they've made.
Okay, I have to stop this because her 2 youngest children are the ones who escaped from the prison of Jodi Hildebrandt's house, her business partner, in Ivins, Utah, on August 30th of this year. Actually, it was only her young son who escaped. He, at the time of his escape this year, was 12 years old when he escaped from Jodi Hildebrandt's house, where they were basically holding him prisoner. His hands were bound with rope, as were his ankles, covered in duct tape. Some of the reports have indicated that these wounds on his wrists and ankles may have been down to the bone. We have showed other reports that the wounds were dressed by Ruby and Jodi with cayenne pepper and honey. Please look at my playlist below. There is one episode where we played the entire 911 call from the neighbor. So this young boy, who's 12 years old, escaped from Jody Hildebrand's house, ran to the neighbor to ask for help. He was severely malnourished, obviously had been restrained, and the neighbor is very upset. He told the police that his sister was also in the house. She was 10 years old. She was rescued from the house as well. This is the incident that led to the charges of felony child abuse, 6 charges each for both Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrand. But to now look back on this video where she is saying that her children are selfish, her 2 youngest children, and need to be punished. And I know a lot of you have been watching Ruby Franke's channel for some time. If you have any idea when this was, give me an idea or an indication of how old the children were at this time. But in hindsight, this video is even more disturbing than I imagined. I'm playing it for the first time. I haven't seen it either.
So Kevin and I have decided that we are going to give the gift of truth to them this year for Christmas. We are going to give them the gift of boundaries, and we're going to give them the gift of repentance. So we sat down with them, and we told these 2 what our expectations were again. And we let them know how deeply sorrowful we've been because of the choices that they have been making, and how it's affected their teachers at school. It's affected their peers. It's affected our home, the siblings. And we just laid it out very clear. And we told them that this year they are not going to be visited by Santa. So they will, and we prepped them. We let them know that the Christmas morning, their 4 older siblings will be getting Christmas presents to open, and that they will have the gift of love from their dad and I, because we want them to really have a visceral experience that hits them. So up until
A visceral experience that hits them. And then however many years later, she's tying them to the floor with ropes and chaining them to the floor. In fact, when the young son was finally rescued and he was at the neighbor's house and the neighbor was making the 911 call, you can hear him in the background saying, "It's all my fault. It's all my fault." This is child abuse at a level that most people cannot understand or have ever seen. And now that we're looking back on this video, it's even more horrifying.
Till now, I was really hoping that like keeping them home from school and wiping the floorboards would like really bring pain. Like, oh my gosh, I really want to change this behavior that I've been exhibiting.
Keep that in mind, the wiping the floorboards, because when we look at the video of her 2 middle daughters being found at PAM BODTCHER's house, that's what they were doing. Scrubbing her floors.
And it wasn't painful for them. They're like, oh yay, we get to stay home from school and clean floorboards. This is kind of fun. It's like, so, they've had these visceral experiences, and they haven't affected them. It's because they're so numb. And
so the visceral experience of being chained to the floor and tied with a rope and having your wrists handcuffed and bound, and then having your open wounds duct tape after you dress them with cayenne pepper and honey, is that visceral enough for you, Ruby? Is that what you meant by visceral? I hope they use this as evidence at her trial.
So the more numb your child is, the greater experience, the bigger the outcome. They need to wake them up. You're not going to push a boulder with just your hands. You need some real leverage. And the biggest leverage that a little child has is probably Santa Claus.
Oh,
and
wow.
So I expressed to them that I love your soul more than anything in this world. And I literally would do anything to invite you into repentance. And I know parents say that I would do anything for my kid, but really what I think most parents are saying is I would give anything to you if I would pay any price monetarily. I don't know how many parents are actually willing to put any boundary in place that would bring a turnaround, that would
repentance. Well, we heard him. We heard young, I don't want to mention his name because I don't want to dox him. He's had enough trauma in his life. We heard him apologizing to the neighbor and saying it was all his fault.
really bring repentance. So that is our gift. Our gift is a reflection of truth to our child of this is how selfish you have shown up. And it's not like once or twice. It's not 1 week. This is like months and months and months and months and months you have shown up this selfish. And so I'm going to reflect truth to you equally, which is about the equivalent of Santa not coming.
Wow, that last symbol that you saw there was the connections symbol for their company, the company that she had with Jody Hildebrandt, where they were counseling
Not
people
coming.
and selling their services. That's the connections symbol. Wow. Well, wonder if she's feeling any repentance right now. I have a feeling that she's probably not. Wow. That's chilling. So, after the police in Ivans arrested Jody and Ruby and rescued the two young children of Ruby from the house, they were in a panic to find the two middle daughters who are 16 and 14. The young boy had told police initially during the 911 call that his two other sisters, that these two other girls were also at Jody Hildebrandt's house in Ivans. But it turned out that they were not there. So Ruby Franke's home was 4 hours away in Springville, Utah. Ivans is in Washington County, and Springville is in Utah County. So during the last live stream that we did, we had also seen some new police reports that had surfaced, also from Brian Schnee at KUTV2 in Salt Lake City, that indicated police called the oldest daughter, Shari, to find out where the two middle daughters might be. And Shari gave them the information of where one of the girls worked, her job. They went to her place of employment and they looked at the security cam footage and they saw that PAM BODTCHER had picked her up from her job. And it turned out that Ruby Franke had called Pam at around noon that day and asked Pam to pick up the girls and bring them to her house for a while. She didn't really tell Pam why. And we're going to look at that body cam footage right now and get a little more insight into what exactly happened when police got to the door of PAM BODTCHER in American Fork. First, they went to Ruby Franke's house in Springville, and there was no answer. They banged the door down. They actually banged the door down and broke into the house, swept the house, didn't find the girls, and then they coordinated with American Fork police to go to the BODTCHER home. So let's take a look at that body cam footage right now.
How's it going?
Good.
I'm Officer Hawkins, sir. I'm looking for Pam. Is Pam in today?
Yeah, that's my wife.
Is your wife? She's here.
Hi.
Hello, Pam. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm Officer Hawkins, American Fork Police Department.
Hi.
So we had a agency assist out of St. George in Springville that we're just looking for. Okay. When you picked her up, what was the case? Did somebody ask you to pick her up, or did you just pick her up? What was going on?
Well, I'm having guests coming, and she came and did some cleaning for me.
Some cleaning for you?
You'll notice some blank audio. They're redacting the name of the daughters, which I like. She came to do some cleaning for me. Wonder if this is some sort of punishment as well. because I'm going to guess they weren't being paid to do this cleaning, because she actually had just picked her up at her actual job where she did get paid. But I'm sure a lot more is to come regarding this situation.
You work right now in the house.
In the living room right here.
Okay, great. We're gonna have both of you come out here then.
If you can, just for a second, we just have to go over some stuff.
You have a warrant?
Yeah, we do.
Let me see it, please.
So it's in my car, but right now my concern is.
Will you just tell them you're all right?
Well, we
Yeah.
have to physically see her.
Do you have a warrant? This is the first thing this guy says. This is the husband of PAM BODTCHER.
To that doorway.
We'll go ahead and get the copy of the warrant for you, okay?
You have a warrant from my house?
Specifically for you.
For you and the child.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is very unclear, and I wish this was more clear, but he's saying he has a warrant for her and for the girl. Is he saying he has an arrest warrant for Pam? Because he's going to handcuff her. So I'm a bit confused about this.
Okay. So
What is going on?
as of right now, I'll just need you to give your phone to your husband.
Okay.
Okay. And as of this moment, you're going to be detained right now. Okay.
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 So
So,
what does that mean?
is there anything on you?
No.
Okay. Perfect. Just put your hands in front of you. Okay. Just going to place you temporarily under arrest. Okay?
Wait.
I'll explain to you that
What are you guys doing?
I've explained this already. I'm being as courteous as I can.
Okay, well, I'm gonna call an attorney.
That's fine.
I don't know what's
Yeah, I don't even know what this is all about.
Okay. So I'm
Put
going to
my
explain
wife
to you when we
in
get to the car.
handcuffs and-
Yes. I just explained to you that you're being detained right now. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you to my car, okay? I need this officer to stay with your husband, and I'm going to explain everything to you when we get there, okay?
I like how they also blurred the daughter's face. That was very kind of them to do that. So you notice this body cam footage is, the time of this footage is 6:28 p.m. It's going to skip around a little bit because there's a couple of different videos.
So are you familiar with any officers in Springville?
No,
Okay.
not at all.
Do you have siblings or kids in St. George?
Well, I have a married daughter,
Okay. What's her name?
Stacy.
Okay. Do you know of any issues that they just went through today?
No, do you?
Yes, I do. So that's why I'm trying to figure out. So we were requested by St. George and Springville Police to make contact here, the residents is here, then to detain you currently until questions are answered. Okay.
What kind of questions?
So I'm gonna call the main officers from Springville, and that's where I'm gonna tell them that I have you detained, and he can question you from now. Does that make sense? So now you know pretty much as I do. Okay. So I'm gonna call him, and we're just gonna go from there. Okay.
He's sort of giving her the wrong information, though. I think he's giving her too much information, and it's the wrong information. This has nothing to do with her daughter who lives there. These are not her grandchildren. This is very confusing and could lead to a problem later, but we'll see.
So what do I have to do with it? Why am I like this when haven't resisted or anything?
Because I have to detain you momentarily until I figure out what charges they're going to go with that. So like I said, we were requested by another agency to locate you and detain you temporarily under a warrant to figure out this. He's right there, which means you had her. That makes sense?
Yeah, she comes over to my house all the time.
I'm going off what you're saying. I'm going off what they're saying. I don't know what's the truth. I know that she's here. I don't know if she came willingly or not.
Well, can't you ask her?
That's what we're about to do.
Okay.
But as of right now, that's why I separated you, because I want the truth. I don't want coercion. I don't want her being felt like she has to say
right.
stuff.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in there. We're going to drive back to the front so you can hang out right in front of your house.
Thank
Okay?
Okay.
All right, watch your hand. So just, can you tie yourself or no? Or can you raise your seatbelt or no?
No.
No?
Okay, so who is Pam BODTCHER? You're probably saying, because we haven't talked about that yet on this stream. But Pam BODTCHER is the president of Connections. So last stream that we did, we took a look at the video at the website for Connections. So just let's go back to this for a second and look at the, I can't believe the website for Connections is still up. This is the business that after Ruby Franke ended her YouTube channel, she partnered up with Jody Hildebrandt, who was a licensed mental health therapist that was on the referral list for the Mormon Church to send members of their faith to who wanted therapy. She was part of the referral list, and she was also paid for many of those visits by the Mormon Church. Ruby went into business with her in this Connections thing after she ended her YouTube channel in around 2022. And here's the website. I can't believe it's even still up. So if we just look here, business team, there's PAM BODTCHER. She's the president of Connections Foundation. She has a degree in interpersonal communications, a mother of 7, and a grandmother of 14. That's interesting because I didn't see any of her kids around. She served for 6 years on the Timpanogos Symphony Board of Directors and 2 years on the Utah Metropolitan Ballet Board of Directors. So she's listed right on the company website as the president of the Connections Foundation. And when we go back and take a look at the about us, let's see, we can learn about Jody. And Jody has a little
Welcome
video.
to Connections. I'm Jody Hildebrandt. So glad you're with us. If you're like me, you've had pain in your life. It could be from a divorce, work conflicts, relationship issues with children, grandchildren, spouse, anxiety, depression, or fear that you don't understand, feelings that you're not enough or that you're unlovable. Connections is the solution. You can change. You can experience feelings of being whole, centered, liberated, connected, empowered, and free. Come and see for yourself. There's something here for you.
Pain. She talks about pain. She likes inflicting pain apparently too. So that should play well at the trial as well. Don't you think? That's kind of crazy. Let's go now to the second piece of body cam footage of PAM BODTCHER.
Okay. So, like I told you everything that I know, right? And as soon as I find out, I tell you kind of thing, right? Pretty transparent. Okay. So today, your daughter in St. George was hooked up with DCFS on a possible child abuse. Okay.
My daughters, are you sure you have the right daughter, Stacy Crane?
Someone from St. George that has their child.
No, that's not my daughter.
Okay. Well,
See, he's very confused. He's got the wrong information and he's giving her too much of it and he's giving her the wrong information. It's not a good look.
those officers are on their way up here to talk to you.
Okay.
And talk to her.
Okay.
And DCFS is on their way as well.
Okay.
I'm not here to argue the logistics.
No, I know.
I'm telling you what I know.
Yeah, it's just those would be my granddaughters, and those aren't my granddaughters. Those are my friends' daughters.
Okay. So your friend's daughters then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Is Ruby Franke's daughter.
Okay.
She's a friend of ours. She comes over and helps me every once in a while to do cleaning and stuff.
Okay. So this is what happened, okay? Her parents were in the situation of a child abuse allegation.
Okay.
DCFS made the report and went to the house and found children malnourished and locked in a safe. Okay.
Malnourished and locked in a safe, he says.
Safe?
In a safe. Okay. So now those officers and DCFS have took custody of those children, and we're looking for this one. The rec center, when they went to go find her, said that you picked her up.
Yeah, I
So
did.
now they are trying to figure out
Why I picked her
why
up.
you picked her up, what you know with her. Is she okay? Did she come here willingly? All that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, they
so
can
as
ask
soon
her
as they
that.
come here,
Yeah.
we'll be on our way.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I said you're just detained. You're not placed under arrest just right now until they figure out what's going on with their part. Okay?
Okay.
So as long as she's not tied up and bound because you
I did make her
do
scrub.
something, you
I
know?
did make her scrub the floor, and they vacuumed and stuff because I have company coming tonight from Costa Rica.
Okay.
So he says, as long as she's not tied up and bound. So he's making reference to the other children that were tied up and bound. And then she says, I made her scrub my floor because they have company coming from Costa Rica.
So, but she did it of her own free will. We had lunch.
Yeah.
We went to Rolly's farm and had ice cream.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
So you just want what?
That's not my case.
Okay.
DCFS and Springfield Police Department asked me to come here, make contact with you. It's here to detain you until they can ask questions.
Okay.
Okay. Any other questions for now? Until they get here at least?
No, yeah, I was just scared because I thought it was my daughter. That's not my daughter. My daughter only has little kids. I mean,
I was only scared because I thought it was my daughter, but hearing about Ruby Frankie's other two kids being abused doesn't really bother me so much, but I'm good.
I shouldn't have any kids that age.
Sorry.
Sorry, just switched over.
What was your question? Sorry, ask it again.
Oh,
My sergeant asked if everything was okay, so that's it.
yeah.
Any other questions I can answer for you?
No, I don't understand why having her come to my house.
Who, her?
Yeah.
Because they don't know whether it was voluntary or not. I think it's the first problem.
See. Okay.
And the second problem is, since those children are, I don't know the full details of how mistreated or how malnourished those children are.
Okay.
All I know is that's the words and treatment that they used.
Yeah.
Which means that they are severely concerned of her well-being and every child that's in that home.
Okay. So they'll just have to talk to her and
because I've been a part of many DCFS cases where as soon as the parents are hooked up, kids are taken. If there's any kids that aren't in the home immediately when the kids are taken, guess what? They're scurrying around. Other family members are picking them up that way. The parent can come back and grab them before DCFS takes them.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, you may be a good person, but there's a lot of people in this world that aren't.
Right. Well, if DCFS is supposed to take her, then they can take her. I mean, I'm not going to try to fight that. I mean, you know.
That's what they're going to come talk to you about. They left already, so they should be here in the next 10, 15 minutes. But Springville just left as I got off the phone with him. So he's probably going to be about 20.
DCFS or whatever it is coming.
Okay, he's giving her way too much information. He should be asking questions, not just giving information to her. Knowledge is power. Why is he giving her all this information?
Yeah, so DCFS will come for their part first, and then the detective.
So they're just going to ask her if she came willingly to my house and if everything is okay?
And she has to be taken into state custody.
Oh, she does? Okay.
Because I think her parents were arrested.
Okay.
I think her parents were arrested.
Okay, so...
and she says, okay, full stop. We got to rewind that. Listen to her. Look at her reaction when he says her parents were arrested. Tell me what you think. Does it indicate to her? Does it indicate to you that she already know or that she doesn't really care?
Or DCFS or whatever it is coming?
Yeah, so DCFS will come for their part first, and then the detective.
So they're just going to ask her if she came willingly to my house and if everything is okay?
And she has to be taken into state custody.
Oh, she does? Okay.
Because I think her parents were arrested.
Okay, so
okay,
I'm just wondering why they don't want.
Maybe they are.
No, I have her. She's in my house.
She's in,
She mentions the second daughter, and she says, I'm just wondering why they don't want her. And he thinks they don't know where she is, and she says, I have her too. Crazy.
here.
Yeah.
I didn't get told when they get here. Ask him that. Okay. All right. I'm gonna go brief your husband so he's not worrying about you.
Okay.
Just give me a second.
Okay, so the time on this is
So her
1844.
parents today were under investigation for child abuse, child neglect. Her DCFS went to the home with the Springfield Police Department and found children in the basement, malnourished and locked in the safe. Today. Yeah.
I don't know what children that.
DCFS tried finding all the kids that were involved, and one of them was. We don't know where she's at. Okay. Calls the rec center. The rec center says that Pam picked her up. Unknown if she went willingly or forced. I'm not saying Pam forced her. I already told her that. So we don't know. But what DCFS wants to do is they have a warrant to pick her up and take her into state custody because of criminal for arrest. Now,
Her parents were arrested.
yes. So that's why
Her mom was on her way to St. George.
That was
He says that Ruby was on her way to St. George. How does he know that?
the whole thing. It happened in St. George, came up to Springfield got involved, and it's traced all its way back to us somehow. I don't know how you guys are involved, you and Pam.
Pam's her friend, Ruby's friend. Her husband, Kevin, or somebody, I've met him a couple times. I don't even know. So Pam, since her mom was on the way to this, I'll talk quieter.
Yeah.
Since her mom was on the way to St. George, and Pam said, I'll pick up the girls and I need some help in it. And so she said, Ruby said they can come over and help. And so they've been helping clean. We have guests coming from Costa Rica tonight.
That's what Pam said.
And, you know, they just help clean, they clean floors, they cleaned all kinds of stuff. I don't even know what. And so that's the reason we're involved with this right now, just because Pam went over and Ruby knew that she was coming over and getting the girls, and she got the girls. You guys talked to Pam already?
All right, sir. So I have a question for you. Pam already told me that in the house. Can we ask for her to come outside as well?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Can you come out, please?
You can put your shoes on first, and we don't have to walk outside in socks.
Right? My backwards. You can sit there. Can I sit there?
You're right here. Have I something?
Okay, so she contacted around here, and then you went and picked up both of them. Were they both in Springville, or were she was at Ace? But what Ace was it at?
I don't know. I can give you the address. I don't remember. It's somewhere like south.
Spanish Fork?
Yeah, I mean, no, not Spanish Fork. It's past Spanish Fork.
Santa Quinn?
We went to the Rollies barn right after I picked her up.
Okay, it's probably Santa Quinn.
Yeah, that's Santa Quinn.
Okay.
That's almost an E5 type area.
Yeah.
Okay. She was at the Ace. And did you call both the girls and say, "Hey, your mom told me to come get you"?
No,
Okay. How did you contact them to know where they were at?
I just went to the pool and said, "Hey, they have a family emergency. Can I pick up?" She said, "Sure." So I just said, "Family emergency. Your mom said you could come help me clean today." She said, "Okay."
Okay. And what about, how did you get contact to pick her up?
Ruby just told me she'd be at the Ace Hardware.
Oh, okay. So Ruby told you where both of them.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So they've been here all day. We
They've
went to Rollies Farm and got Rollies Red Barn and got ice cream at the Red Barn. And then we came here and we scrubbed the floors and vacuumed and made lunch at BLT's, and we were going to go pick tomatoes and make salsa tonight.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we were doing tonight.
So just to make sure I'm understanding all this correctly, Ruby contacted you around noon and said that they had an
Around it. I don't know if that's
Sure.
exact.
That's
Yeah.
your best guess.
Said she had a family emergency.
And needed you to pick up the girls.
Yeah, she said, would you mind watching the girls while I'm gone? Because she was leaving. I said, yeah, I could do that because I need some help cleaning.
Okay, and then did you say to bring them to your house for today and then take it back tonight, or to keep them here for a couple days?
She didn't say. I was just planning on bringing them home tonight.
Oh, okay. And she also.
She didn't say she was in jail or going to jail.
The kitchen bolts right there. Okay.
Picked them up.
And did you pick up first then?
Mm-hmm.
And then you went down? Okay. Okay.
And then they've been here, besides going to that Rolly's Red Barn, they've been here the whole time.
Okay. And you guys have been clean there and
Yeah.
eat
Go smell my house. It smells great. Yeah, we had lunch. We just finished cleaning, and I said, okay, what do you guys want to do now? I said, we gotta go pick the tomatoes once it gets cool, and then we'll learn. They wanted to learn how to make salsa, so I said, okay, we can do that. I said, let's just take a break for a minute, and that's when pounding on the door. We opened the door right up. He said, ask for me. I came right out, and then you asked, does not come out here, and then like I said, I told him, so what? And he said, well, we're not concerned. I said, well, okay, well, she's in the house. And then I don't know what you did. You went to the house and asked for her too.
Yeah. That was because information was solely getting trickled to him. I don't think he knew about it.
Initial CAD notes just said located.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what happened. We've been at home cleaning this whole time and dusting and and then they were going to pick tomatoes and make salsa and then take them home.
Okay.
Have you ever had anything like this happen before where you picked up the girls?
Oh, like
This is the interview with the Department of Children and Family Services, DCFS.
We need you to watch the girls.
No, everything else has been said like they wanted to learn how to make jam, and so they had a whole bunch of strawberries and raspberries, so I went down there, things like that. But so I have interacted with them, and we've done stuff, but it's usually to make jam or learn how to sew or do something, or like someone has a play or something, we go to see it or something, but not, they have come to my house before and done house weeding and stuff like that.
Okay. How did you start to know the family? How did you meet?
The Franke family?
Yeah.
Through a program called Connexions.
Okay.
It's a kind of a life skills type thing.
Okay.
Life skills.
More about,
They're learning at Connexions.
Through the program, or not really know what the program is.
She is a coach.
Okay. What type of things do they do with the program?
It's like life skills. Like learning how to, it's like be honest, responsible, and humble. Those are those three pillars of their program.
Okay. Is there like a meeting place where you met, or is it kind of a virtual thing?
It's online every Saturday morning. It's called Empowering Joy.
Okay.
Empowering Joy.
How long have you known?
Trying to recruit her.
Oh, geez.
Ish.
Probably, I don't know. Let's see. I mean, I didn't know her really well because she was in the program, but I didn't really know her. But I've known her probably really well, maybe 3 years.
Is this like a program that she started, or is it just one that she kind of?
She's just a part of it.
She's just part of it.
Going to. You want to go get your stuff? You guys come in and get your stuff. And you need to go. I'm sorry,
You may recall that at the last shelter hearing, those two girls were given the choice to either go into foster care or to go with their older sister, Shari. So they have been with their older sister, Shari. as far as we know. Another interesting development in this case is that the juvenile proceedings, the shelter hearings with regard to where the 4 minor children are going to be placed, have been made private as of 2 days ago. And in Utah, juvenile proceedings are open to the public. So at the first shelter hearing, you may recall, a reporter got in there, didn't get in there, it's open to the public. And he wrote a story about some things that Ruby Franke alleged during that hearing about one of her other children. And since then, the court has decided, just as of the last hearing this past Tuesday, to close those proceedings to the public. So nobody is allowed in unless they have a special pass or a special code to get into the Zoom or whatever virtual service that they use. Those proceedings are ongoing in Provo. And what is interesting is they took Ruby Franke out of the Purgatory Correctional Center, that's actually what it's called, in Washington County, and they transferred her back to Utah County for this hearing for the juvenile proceeding, because the judge said she had to appear in person. So they put her on what they call a courtesy hold in Utah County, and then let her go in person to this hearing. And what I thought was also very interesting about this hearing is, and I just want to show you a quick clip of this. Another report had surfaced right around the time of my last live stream, wherein we learned that KEVIN FRANKE wanted the Springville police to prosecute his daughter Shari for burglary, because he said that she went into the house and took some of his electronics, which is interesting because if he's been out of that house for 14 months, why were any of his electronics still in the house? So I'm still a little curious about what exactly she took and whether or not they were really his or whether he's covering for Ruby. I'm not really sure. Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. But some body cam footage of that. KEVIN and the Springville police when they turned over these items to him. So I'm going to play that for you real quick. If I can get it to pause for a second. And this is very interesting.
Go.
This is on September 1st.
Is it all there?
Yes. Yeah, explain to me again why this was not robbery.
Because it's a civil issue. It's you guys are family. She's been in the house before. You haven't been in the house in a year. She had interest in the items. She didn't take them with the intention to deprive you of them. So that's the theft code. We have to prove intent to deprive you of the items. And that wasn't her intent in having them. So the detective sergeant said that we're not going to charge her for anything.
Okay. I'll have to do some more research on that.
You're welcome to do that. If you want to follow up with her, text me yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, he'll be here on Tuesday. His name's Sergeant McCoy. Okay. You're welcome. Take care.
Let me know what you think of that. Because yesterday, when they were walking out of court, there's a shot that I wanted to show you of him walking out of court with his attorney, who has been eerily silent lately. You may recall on the last live stream, we talked about how much his attorney was talking to the media, trying to paint him as the amazing father who left his kids for 14 months and hadn't seen them because of some rule that Jody Hildebrandt made about why he was not allowed to see his children. But there was a shot of them coming out of the juvenile court where they're all very happy, seemingly, to be together. So if I can find that, I'm going to play that for you real quick.
County jail after being.
So here is the some quick footage of them at the family child welfare hearing.
Some of the family members behind the 8 passengers YouTube channel appeared in court today, part of a child welfare case that's now hidden from public view.
There's Kevin, there's Shari.
Thanks for joining us for 2 News at 5. I'm Mark Cabell.
And I'm Heidi Hatch. This case stems from the arrest of Ruby Franke, who's accused of child abuse. The juvenile court is trying to figure out how to the best situation for her 4 minor children. Daniel Woodruff live tonight outside 4th District Court in Provo with the very latest.
Well, Heidi and Mark, a pretrial hearing today was held in Provo, attended by the Franke family, but it's closed to the public and the press, and those involved aren't even allowed to discuss it with others. Kevin Franke, his 2 adult children, and their attorneys walked into court together today. When they came out,
Not today, thanks.
they didn't have anything to say to 2 News. A judge has ordered the proceedings in the Franke family child welfare case take place privately.
Whenever you're dealing with
Okay, so they have an attorney say a couple things, and then we're going to see another shot of them walking out of the courthouse together. So there's Shari, there's Chad, there's Kevin. They look very happy to be together. It's Shari's attorney, and I believe that Kevin's attorney is behind him. So I don't know. Do you tell me what you think in the comments? Are they putting on a happy family face so that they can get the youngest 2 children back? Because the youngest 2 children are in state custody. I'm not sure if they're still hospitalized. I hope they may need some inpatient psychiatric therapy. I don't know if they're in foster care, but that's an interesting family picture. Let me know what you think in the comments. There are no upcoming court dates for the criminal case of felony child abuse involving Ruby and Jody Hildebrandt in the court system yet. They had said that they were going to have another hearing at some point after October 5th. We have not seen anything in the court file yet, but I will be sure and keep you posted. Thank you, everyone, for watching today. If you wouldn't mind giving it a little thumbs up on the way out, it helps the YouTube algorithm. And I'll see you real soon.